The former retired army officers, who are said to be quite close to Mohammad Yunus, are openly talking about how, the moment India attacks Pakistan, Bangladesh will seize control of India's northeast region. You can see that many articles have been published on this topic titled Occupy Northeast if India Attacks Pakistan and Yunus Government Aid. At first glance, you might say that the Bangladeshis don't realize how strong the Indian army is. But again, you have to look at the statement closely. These are former army officers who, in today's time, openly praise Mohammad Yunus's government online and are reported to support it as well. Their plan appears to be that once India gets entangled with Pakistan, Bangladesh should become active and take over India's northeast. They are literally not just suggesting to try and cut off the Siliguri corridor or create some minor problems. They will literally do it. I mean, just think about it. You're seeing more radicalization here than even in Pakistan nowadays. At most, Pakistan says that it will seize disputed territories. But is the Northeast a disputed region with Bangladesh? Is there any such dispute? Would you like me to compile the full translation into a smoother, more cohesive narrative, or keep it in this direct conversational tone? They will literally do it. I mean, just think about it. You're seeing more radicalization here than even in Pakistan nowadays. At most, Pakistan says that it will seize disputed territories. But is the Northeast a disputed region with Bangladesh? Is there any such dispute? Would you like me to compile the full translation into a smoother, more cohesive narrative, or keep it in this direct conversational tone? There is no dispute between our Northeast and Bangladesh. The international borders have already been drawn. The Northeast is an integral part of India. Yet, voices are being repeatedly raised in Bangladesh, suggesting that the Northeast should one day be separated from India. This is why many in India now believe that rather than preparing for a two-front war, the country should be ready for a three-front war. We used to think of a two-front war, where Pakistan attacks from one side and China from another, but our former CDS, General Bipin Rawat, had once said India should be prepared for a two-and-a-half-front war. At the time, people didn't fully grasp what that half meant. Now, with emerging news that over 5,000 Pakistanis were legally residing in Delhi alone, not the ones who sneaked in, but those who came via proper visas and have been living in India for decades, and several thousand more in Maharashtra and other states. The exact nationwide number isn't even calculated yet. General Rawat's words begin to make more sense. Given these circumstances, it seems India should prepare not for a two-front, but a three-front conflict, with Bangladesh included. Even though Bangladesh's military capabilities are not very strong, as I keep emphasizing, a nation is ultimately shaped by the mindset of its people. If popular sentiment in Bangladesh increasingly leans toward fighting India, then one day, in a bid to gain popularity, a leader there might resort to adventurism. Remember, they are aware that they can't face India head-on. Their plan hinges on attacking when India is already engaged elsewhere, hoping to see significant portions of Indian territory. If you still have doubts about the three-front war possibility, Pakistan, China, and Bangladesh, just read the full statement of retired Major General Alam Fazl Rahman, who said, "I believe it is necessary to initiate discussions with China for a joint military arrangement on this matter. They're already saying that when Pakistan engages in terrorism against India, and India is forced to respond, then Bangladesh will coordinate with China to act in the Northeast." Bangladeshis are well aware that China has its eyes on India's Northeast, especially Arunachal Pradesh, which China claims. So yes, these plans are nefarious. I use the word evil deliberately, because ask yourself, have we Indians ever harbored such intentions toward Bangladesh? Has any Indian leader ever suggested occupying Bangladesh to gain popularity? No. In fact, the mainstream Indian view has never supported expansionism beyond reclaiming what rightfully belongs to India, like Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and Oxide Chin. No genuine Indian geopolitical thinker or leader speaks of expansion into another sovereign nation. Meanwhile, Bangladesh, a country facing economic hardship, a currency crisis, and declining GDP, is dreaming about seizing Indian land. Ever since Mohammad Yunus came to power, you must have noticed that many investors have pulled out of Bangladesh. Their trade with India has suffered. And now with Donald Trump back, imposing tariffs on Bangladeshi exports, their situation has worsened. At present, Bangladesh has a 10% base tariff on exports to the U.S., but still cannot export as much as it once did. They know they can't negotiate trade deals like India, and job creation in Bangladesh looks bleak, with their economy reportedly posting the lowest growth in 36 years, around 3.3%. At one point, Bangladesh dreamt of competing with India's growth rate of 6 to 7%, but now they're staring at just 3%. And remember, Trump could soon finalize a trade deal with India. Once that happens, Bangladesh will come under pressure. If Trump doesn't like Bangladesh's terms, he could impose steep tariffs, maybe even 40 to 50%, which would cripple their remaining manufacturing industry. And keep this in mind, negotiating with Donald Trump won't be easy for Mohammad Yunus. In the past, Yunus has targeted Trump personally, and Trump never forgets. This is why I say leadership matters, especially when dealing with world powers. A nation progresses when its leader has strong diplomatic ties with key global figures. What's happening with Bangladesh today could happen to other countries too. Now, you might ask, has India responded to these comments from Bangladesh? Well, since this retired major general isn't officially part of the current Bangladeshi government, though close to Mohammad Yunus, it's unlikely India's Ministry of External Affairs will issue a direct response. However, Adani Power did release a statement just hours ago, saying, "We still hope Bangladesh will pay its electricity dues, roughly $900 million. We trust the payment will be made on time." So while Bangladesh is threatening to take over India's northeast, India is simply sending over an electricity bill and reminding them to pay before the due date, or else penalties will apply. Final question to the audience. Which major company recently announced an unprecedented investment in chip manufacturing, $500 billion, in the U.S., with the intention of making the United States the global hub for AI chip manufacturing? This announcement was made in front of Donald Trump and has been covered in dozens of articles, a historic moment even for the U.S. Your options are